articles before town meeting last year, and one question similar to tonight's before you again last year. Last year's question was the same as this year's question and also posed to town meeting, and that was not for or against the project. It was letting voters register and be counted on their opinion whether or not they wanted the project. Not town meeting whether or not they wanted the project, just to let voters have a chance to express their opinion. So, and that's what we're asking for again. Recent binding local ballot questions concerned allowing 2 more liquor stores, beer and wine at 2 theaters, and rejecting leaf blower restrictions. Mass Ave impacts more Arlington residents every day than those issues combined. Over a decade, its longtime residents be counted on having to forfeit a travel lane to make bike lanes on Mass Ave adjacent to the Middleman bike path. If you believe in democracy, you will support citizens voting and being counted on important questions impacting a great many of them, not denying that. If you believe in free speech, let residents be heard with ballot questions. If you support education and learning, you will want to learn how many residents want to keep or lose travel lanes and mobility. Please meet your responsibility. Finally ask and count what voters want. If not, voters will have the petition signatures to do it for you. Be on the right side. Support democratic vote. Thank you.
Mr. Dunn.
I have a couple thoughts. First off, I'm not going to vote to support putting this on the ballot. I believe that the question is very simplistic, and I think that it does not in any way cover the nuance of the situation of the issue that we're talking about. I do not believe that the Mass Ave redesign project can be resolved down to a single yes/no question, and I think it's pretty silly that you think that you can. For instance, we could, as a Board of Selectmen, put the question that you're asking us to put on the ballot. We could also put the question, do you support increasing pedestrian safety on Mass Ave, particularly for our elderly and children? Do you support reducing the number of fatalities that have occurred on Massachusetts Ave in the eastern portion? Do you support installing advanced traffic signaling that will increase the flow of traffic on Mass Ave safely? Do you support uses of do you support changes in Massachusetts Avenue that will increase the use of non-auto and auto solutions? These are all yes/no questions, and you don't want any one of them on the ballot because they are too simple and they do not cover the whole thing. You can't reduce this to a question. I don't think that you should put it on the ballot. I'm going to go off onto an editorial, and I think I'm even going to lecture a little bit. I respect passion on issues. I respect passion on issues when you're in the minority. I have been in the minority on a number of issues. I can point to a couple of votes of town meeting where I lost 156-1. You might recall I led a certain fight to not rebuild Circle Fire Station. There's a Park Circle Fire Station. The mistake that you gentlemen are making is that you are confusing us not listening with us disagreeing with you. We listen to you. We simply disagree with you. And I think that until you acknowledge that and try to argue with us about the changes that you should or shouldn't be there, trying to pretend that we're not listening to you is something that's just going to fall out. It's obvious that we listen to you. We could point to all the changes in the thing. You could point to the fact that I'm sitting here talking to you right now. We listen. We just don't agree on this issue. And finally, I will say, because I think that you're about to embark on a monumental waste of time for this town, is that I think that you need to be very careful and crisp in the facts you use. That speech you just gave had a number of distortions and outright incorrect statements. And it's going to be very difficult for us to have a discussion about Mass Ave. And I think we should talk about Mass Ave. I think we should talk about the project. But I think we should talk about it in a fact-based discussion, not in a version where with altered reality.
Am I allowed to respond?
You may not. Ms. Mahan.